Hey, come on in out of the cold. It's cold out there. Come on in. Hello, welcome back to our cabin. I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
And today on Cabin Life, we are going to talk about a recent video that garnered a lot of views and interest and comments from our viewers. And it was called, I Checked the Trail Cam, and then this happened. Yeah, there was a lot of interest in that video. And people were concerned about my safety as I walked along the trail. I checked the trail cam. It was nice out when I started. And then it started snowing. The weather set in. And it got pretty cold. And people were concerned about my safety. And as I walked, there was some howling and going on in the distance. So we're going to discuss that as well. One of the things they did want to find out about was what was on the trail cam. So that trail cam has been there for a couple of months, and we do have some older pictures. As I said on that shot, I didn't think I was going to get anything on the card. So as I said, I didn't expect anything to be out there in that deep snow. But we did get a few captures. Pretty interesting, the stuff that we do get. It doesn't seem to be that active of a trail, so we're going to try to move that. But there are some nice pictures on there and some nice footage.
We don't see wildlife too often along the trail when we're hiking. That's actually rather rare. So the game cams are our eyes to what's happening when we're not around.
Now on the trail cams, we do see quite a few moose and deer in the area, and it seems like the moose are residents to the 40 acres. We do see what we think is the same moose quite often. There's a bull moose that's 3-4 year old, and also we see the female cow, and she has a calf with her. Usually every year, like for 2 years in a row, we see the same calf. And then last year we saw yet another cow. I think it's the same one, but with a brand new calf. So it'll be interesting to see as the seasons go on. There's all kinds of deer that do pass through. And we've seen different wildlife. We've seen the raccoons, and there's a pine marten that's been hanging around as well. It likes our chicken coop. What can you say? Yeah.
And then there's all the birds.
Now there is, one of the comments from our viewers was, you got to be careful of those wolves because they'll attack you and eat you, and also watch out for the bears. Well, it is winter time here, and in this neck of the woods in Ontario, Canada, in the winter when it snows, the bears hibernate, so there is no danger of running into a bear, so it's one less species to have to worry about. But we generally don't have to worry about the wolves either. Very rarely do the wolves attack. We'll talk about that in a minute. However, there are bears that do frequent the area when they wake up from hibernation, and they are hungry, and there's all kinds of berries to eat, all kinds of stuff for them, to feed them. So we don't leave our garbage out for them. We don't leave any food out for them. We don't feed animals. We don't feed the wildlife, and we certainly don't bait our cameras. We don't need to, buy a bunch of apples or carrots or whatever and, put them down so that we can see the natural wildlife. We like to see it as in a natural state as possible.
I find that moving our game cams around regularly, I think we have a better chance of seeing the animals in their natural state that way, walking by or browsing or whatever. I'd much rather do that than be baiting them.
Yeah, it's usually by chance that way, unless you pick a very well-trafficked, very well-known trail, that animals use. But it just means that, moving the cams around, it's by chance. You may get something, you may not. I'm just waiting for the time when we, look at the cam and then we get a whoa, right? And there's a few that have done that for us. So, I just love watching the bull moose. They are so majestic. When the bears come up to the camera, they're very curious. Several times we've had a bear actually walk up to the camera and sniff it. But yeah, the bears, they liked the berries. And the one bear's had, what, 3 cubs?
Yeah. Cubs. They're so cute.
And we actually got the call of I think it's a lynx. And it's a big cat. Very interesting to hear that.
That's one animal that would be really, really rare to ever sight.
They're very elusive. And we've got all kinds of little critters that roam around in the forest as well. The grouse. And the fox, I notice, are usually in really good shape. Very nice fur. Very nice coat to them. No mange. Now, there is a coyote that has been frequenting the area, and we have caught it on trail cam at least a dozen times. And it seems like it's got perhaps a wound, maybe a bite out of its back. It kind of makes it recognizable. And we've seen it wandering around for over the last, maybe 2 years or so. And it has a brown coat. It was kind of mangy one year. It did not look like it was in good shape. In fact, it was limping. And I don't know if you got that footage of that, where it was it looked like it was having a hard time. So obviously it's been in a row with maybe a moose or a bear or perhaps a wolf. There is a lot of the wildlife around that we do really appreciate it.
That coyote, the injury it has, that has healed. But by the way the cams look at it, we can see there's a big bare spot in its back, like just where there's skin and no fur.
Yeah.
An interesting thing about deer that I didn't know is that they have an alarm call when they get startled. Glenn recorded a clip of it.
Now, from the indications from our viewers, it would seem that when those howls were heard in that video, they either really, really loved those howls or were frightened of them and, urged me to get back to the cabin before they ate me. And, for me, I wasn't actually frightened at that time. I enjoy it.
I was rather envious of him. I didn't go with him for that hike, and I missed the wolf calls. I have a great, great respect for wolves. Their songs are amazing. They're beautiful. And to see a wolf is so rare, but they're such a gorgeous animal. They try to stay away from humans as much as possible.
So in all transparency, just to be clear, those may not have been wolves that were howling. I actually think they possibly were coy wolves or coyotes. And there's a difference between all 3 species, but the wolves generally have a much lower howl. The alpha, coming back from a hunt, will approach the main pack, and he'll give out usually a bark followed by a low, long howl, and then the other adults will join in with that. And then all the rest of the pack that they're meeting up with will join in with that. It's called a rendezvous. And usually it happens after they've been on a hunt and they're coming back either with food or they're coming back to greet the pack. Now, I believe that wolves do that, and coy wolves and coyotes. The coyotes, however, are kind of at the other end of the spectrum. They have a higher pitched howl, and all the adolescents and pups have extremely high-pitched and yippy-yappy howls. 2 pups can sound like 6. Well, the yipping, yap, and yelp, and then a scream, and a yipes, and all very close together. So it sounds like 6 of them at once. The wolves are a lot more stout. They're larger species than a coy wolf or a coyote. And the coyotes often smaller stature, thinner, and the coyotes around here are brown in coat, and their tail is not quite so bushy as the wolves. The wolves are, there's eastern gray wolves in the area, and there's also the Algonquin wolf as well, which has been determined as its own species of Algonquin Provincial Park here in Ontario, Canada. And a viewer had said there are no coy wolves in Ontario or in this part of Canada, and I did look it up because I was pretty sure there was research that had been done that had definitely shown that there are coy wolves, which are a mixed breed of wolves and coyotes to become coy wolves. So they look a little bit different, but it's very difficult to say whether that's a coyote or is it a wolf unless you get 100% ID, and then even then you may not know 100%. Let's have a listen to the coyote and how it sounds. And this is what we were hearing on the last video. I checked the trail cam and then this happened. Now let's hear a wolf howl and a greeting to a wolf pack and see the difference. The wolf howl is much lower in pitch. So there's the difference of wolves and coyote howls. I have several other wolf howls on our videos that we have had in the past, over the past few years, out recording on our 40 acres here. So by all means, check out the playlist. One of our commenters from Wisconsin had said that he doesn't like to go out at night unless he is carrying his protection with him because he's so frightened of wolves. He said that the wolves have been reintroduced to his area of Wisconsin where he lives, and for that reason he is not going out at night. So I asked him how many wolf attacks have there been on humans in Wisconsin, and he didn't answer back. So I looked it up, and as it turns out, there have been no human attacks by healthy wolves in Wisconsin since they were reintroduced. So wolves don't attack people. They don't hunt people. Animals that are rabid may, do things that are very uncharacteristic and unpredictable, and a wolf could possibly do that if it was sick. But healthy wolves do not hunt humans for prey, and they do not attack humans. Same with coyotes, generally in the wild. But coyotes near the cities and in the green spaces of the cities often proliferate, and they're a different breed. They're a different kind of species because they're habituated to the city, and they're accustomed to seeing dogs and cats walking down the street. They're accustomed to seeing, kids going in the park, all that kind of stuff, and they get pretty brave, and consequently they are a risk. They are a danger because they get fed so much, near the parks and in the cities. And that is something you definitely do have to be mindful of. Out here in the wilderness, not so much. I do have my bear banger that I keep with me, that if something approaches me and I feel threatened, boom, I can let off the bear banger. As far as myself carrying protection, Well, that's between me and the intruder to find out.
You do need to have a healthy respect for wildlife, but there's no need to be fearful.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out this video. That's all for now. I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
We'll see you next time. Over and out.
Take care.